Welcome to the Equestrian Edge, the podcast where women of the West shine and saddle smart fitness reigns. I'm Brandy Bratton, your host and founder of Equestrian Edge Fitness. As a proud member of a third-generation equestrian legacy, RH Ranch and Equine Services, I strive to honor my family's dedication to this incredible lifestyle. Each episode features inspiring stories from trailblazing cowgirls who have triumphed over challenges with astounding grit and grace. We'll jump into their personal journeys within the rich tapestry of Western culture. Additionally, I'll have them share insights gathered from our individual sessions conducted through my specialized fitness program, Equestrian Edge Fitness, designed specifically for equestrians. Whether you're an accomplished rider or just taking your first steps into the Western world, there's something here for everyone. So join us as we aim to elevate your physical health and emotional resilience on your journey towards excellence in the equestrian and Western lifestyle. Get the edge. My guest is Nikita Ward, and I just want to say welcome, Nikita. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's new, but I'm excited about it. So,
Well, good. I'm excited too. So now you have told me that you have always had a love for horses, this
yes.
connection for horses. Can you talk a little bit about where that initially started, where all that came from?
Well, I've loved horses pretty much since I was born. Like they've always just been a thing. I've always thought they were beautiful, and I've always wanted one. Working at Montana Horses definitely solidified that for me in a big way. Actually, being able to get out there and be around them and see what the whole lifestyle is about, and so yeah, it just kind of fed that from there. And
Yeah, you
I
said that's
always,
when you got your real taste for it.
yes, yeah. So I miss being able to go out there and do that. But I have my own horses now, so yeah,
Yeah,
like
let's get into that a little bit because you're here in Idaho. You and I are both in the Treasure Valley, and there's a little bit about what's going on with you that seems to be a common scenario or situation for quite a few equine enthusiasts, and that being your horses aren't on your property. You live in town,
yes,
so
yes.
talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, hindsight's 2020. So if me and my husband would have known at the time that we bought this house that, the extra $150 that we would have been paying in a mortgage to just get land, then we would have done that because it would have been better. Because now, with the cost of everything, that's not realistic. At least not anytime soon. So, yeah, I actually have been blessed with where I get to keep my horses, and where I have my horses now, it's three different properties, but two of them are connected, and the other one is just right down the road. So all my horses are, you know, close within each other, and I don't have to drive like a bunch of distance or anything. It's only a few miles from my house. So I've been blessed with that. And it's actually nice in a way having that too, because I can rotate my horses around to different properties and expose them to different things. So in a way, that's kind of a bonus of not having my own property, but it definitely would be so much better if I had my own property, because I would love to wake up and look out my window and see my horses out there every day.
Yes, that would
So,
be a nice benefit for sure. So, with
yes.
that being the circumstance, with that being the situation, tell me a little bit about what the day in the life looks like for you.
So, it's usually getting up, making sure that my kids are doing what they're supposed to be doing. My daughter, she does online school from home, and she's 16, so she's pretty self-sufficient. But my son is 11 and he goes to the middle school, so we got to make sure that he's up. Usually from there, I don't have like a set time that I go out to work the horses. It's just kind of like in between everything else that I have going on. But I usually try to go out there in the afternoon, so that way I have time to work with them if I'm working with them that day, and go out there, spend time with them, feed them, water them, check on them, check fence, because well, they're horses and they like to mess with the fence. So I got to fix fence and everything like too often, which is part of having animals. So just
It
kind
is
of
part of it,
is
and
yeah.
yeah, it's the sacrifices we make for the love of those horses,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
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 You you mentioned a little bit to me when we've talked earlier in the week about some inspiring people in your life, some people that have offered you some skills and confidence in your horsemanship.
So Butch Maddie's a big one. He's very down to earth and he's fun to be around. He's easy to talk to. And he just if you're willing to listen to what he has to say, he's got a lot that he can teach you. And he definitely, when he was working with my abused mare Ash, that definitely changed the way I look at working with horses quite a bit. I only wish that I had time to go out there and actually spend a lot of time with him. I would probably camp out there. I don't think he wants me to camp out. I guess I was just like I want all the knowledge you have, but I don't think I could ever get all the knowledge that he has. Um, and then another big one is my best friend, Alicia Ray. I met her because she was initially going to help me train my first horse that I had, but unfortunately I had to sell her before we could move on with that because of finances and everything at the time. So we like talked, and then she had a couple of events going on, and she happened to message me to see if I wanted to volunteer for it, and I said sure. And then she wanted to see if I wanted to go out for a trail ride. So, I was like, yeah, because like I don't get to ride horses. I don't have my own. So I was like, yeah, I'll go. Kind of just from there, we started hanging out more and more, and we just kind of became best friends. And she's more like a sister to me than anything at this point. I love her a lot. She definitely built up my confidence. She helped me gain knowledge with training horses because she's trained horses since she was little. She grew up with them. Um, so that's kind of her life. And yeah, I wouldn't trade her. I wouldn't trade her for the world.
With her and Butch, is there any one particular specific lesson that you were able to gain from either one of them or maybe both of them?
Um, Patience was a big one from Butch. Patience was a big one with that. Alicia, probably determination and just kind of sticking with it. Um, not giving up, even though it's really hard. You can cry, but you can cry while you're trying to do it. Kind of thing. You be frustrated, but you gotta stick with it, kind of thing. Um, and so that's probably the biggest things that I would think as far as training related things that I would take away from those two. Um, and Megan, she's another big one, because she's a great horsewoman too. She trains and she has her stud that she shows on. You wouldn't even know he was a stud. He behaves so well. But she also has inspired me because she's a single mom and she does all this stuff and has been pretty successful with it. And so that kind of inspired me, that I can do this too. Like I'm not a single mom, but she's capable of it, and she kind of shows that, as long as you have the drive and the willingness to do it, and the passion for it, like you can do it and you can accomplish it, and make something of it. So it's kind of the same thing with Alicia too, because she also, it's a business for her as well. And so I guess that's another thing that I took away from her, is that as long as you have the drive and you keep going, you can do it. It's not easy, but you can do it.
Was part of that inspiration that you received from her the inspiration to start doing some of your own training?
From all of them, yeah. Definitely from all of them. Because, well, um, I'm not rich, so I don't have money to send my horses out to trainers. So it's like, if I want horses, and I want horses for my family to ride and for me to ride, like, I better figure out how to do this. And I just wanted to learn how to do it anyways, because I like working with horses. It's just another element of it, but I definitely wanted to be good at it. Um, and I'm still learning. There's a lot that I still have to learn.
I think
Like, don't
I
get me
think they're
wrong,
always teaching us something, though.
there is always something to learn. If you aren't learning something, then you should probably sit back and take a look at, what you're doing, because um, you're missing something somewhere. So, but yeah, there's definitely always something to learn.
Well, that kind of brings me to misconceptions that take place. There's always learning to be done and always learning to do, but a lot of times there is a lot of misconception that is going on.
Mhm.
And you mentioned a few things to me. One of them being about mustangs. Can you talk a little bit about
Yes.
that?
Um, so there's a lot of people that think Mustangs are just kind of trash horses because they're out there, running wild, and because they don't have papers. But honestly, all the Mustangs that I have compared to my domestics that I um, have all surpassed my domestics in every way. But it's also kind of comes down to selective breeding. Like, yes, they're running wild, but it's still ultimately survival of the fittest when they're out there. So they have that, and they get smarter. And I'm not bashing on domestic horses, because there's a lot of great ones out there. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there is. I want to put that out there, because I know that some people will be like, oh my goodness. But no, there's a lot of great domestic horses and everything too. I just think that it's unfair that just because they happen to, be released into the wild and then learned how to survive, that now they're just kind of considered trash and nuisance, when they're not. They're extremely smart. They're extremely versatile. If you've got one specific thing that you want to do, there is a herd with Mustangs in it that will fulfill that. They're capable of doing everything that a well-bred domestic can. You just have to know what you're looking for when you go out there to get one. I mean, if you just go grab a random one from the pen, I mean, you're not going to know if it's going to be good for a certain thing. But I mean, it's just like shopping around for any horse, really.
As we take a moment to savor life's simple pleasures, let me introduce to you Rare Duck Coffee. This remarkable company is dedicated to preserving the essence of the Western lifestyle through their exquisite specialty coffee crafted just for you. The coffee beans are carefully grown at high altitudes, where the unique climate contributes to their rich flavor profile. Each batch is roasted in small quantities to ensure maximum freshness and a super smooth taste in every cup. Plus, ordering is a breeze. You can easily find them online. One taste, and I assure you, you won't want to be without this exceptional coffee in your life. Embrace the spirit of the West, one delicious sip at a time.
They're my favorites. I mean, I have domestics and stuff that I love too, that I think are great, but Mustangs will always and forever be like my number one special horse.
It matters who is working with them. It matters whose
Yes.
hands they are in. And
Yes.
majority of the time, whatever breed it may be, if they're in the hands of the right trainer, then you can see
Yes.
how exceptional that horse can become. So,
Yes. Yeah, this is true. So,
so how do you balance tradition with modern innovations in your work? I know you
so
mentioned to me that you would love to be in a position where you can raise, like, have your own garden, grow your own food, raise your own
yes.
meats, and
Yeah, so I would definitely love to be able to do that, but not having like my own property kind of makes that hard. So just for me to be able to have my horses, like even at somebody else's place, is like a big thing in like the modern scheme of things. It's kind of interesting to me that, we went from people not wanting to have, like the country life or the raising your own stuff life and wanting like the city life and the houses and all that, to now everybody wants the country life and the city life stuff and wants to do like the homesteading and everything. And so now everything is so expensive to do that, because it's become like a fad. And unfortunately, most of those people end up giving it up because they have no idea what it takes to do it. They see like a few little TikTok videos or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, that looks so easy. That's cute. I want to do that." And then they get out there and they have absolutely no idea. Like it's not. It is definitely not for everyone. It is hard.
another
It
one of
is.
those misconceptions, correct?
Yes, definitely another one of the misconceptions. But I grew up. Well, I got to work on Montana horses, and so there was that. But when we were living there too, we also were living really rural. We didn't have electricity or running water or anything. We were living in a little 13-foot camper with 4 people and 7 dogs. So out in the middle of nowhere in Three Forks, Montana. So I got to kind of live like that. And that wasn't the first time that we had done that either. We had done it when I was younger too, in Divide, Montana. So I knew what goes into that. And when I was younger, there was a part of me, like, I really loved that and wanted to live that way. But then because I did it so much as a kid, like I wanted to kind of, meet in the middle. But as I got older, I realized that I loved that so much and that kind of lifestyle because I was so much happier. There wasn't like all the hustle and bustle from the city and all the people and the cars and the noise and everything, and just being able to produce your own stuff, being out on your own land, doing your own thing, having your own animals. Raising and butchering them. It's not the funnest part because I mean, it doesn't matter how hard you try to not get at least somewhat attached to them. You do, um, but it's still just that life for me is the ultimate life because I know where everything is coming from. I know how it was raised and how it was treated. Um, and I really, really, really want to, get back to that kind of life.
I know what you're saying with that. I'm kind of in a waiting pattern myself, my husband and I, in this waiting pattern to be able to take over RH Ranch, which is what my grandfather started. We miss having chickens. We miss being able to plant our own food. And again,
Yes.
being able to know where our food comes from, it's important. At least it's important to us. It's important to you. To some people, it doesn't matter at all. But then again, that's why that kind of life is important to us. And that's why, to those of us that it's important to, we know that it's not the easiest life, but it is the life that we crave. It is the life that we have a
Yes.
passion for. And so,
Yes.
yeah, that sustainability. But you also mentioned, the noise, and it's true when you're out on your own property and you have that stillness, you have that
Hmm.
quiet. You're It's so much easier to connect with nature.
It is. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, you mentioned before it's too late or before you reach an age that you're not able to. Well, you know,
Mm-hmm.
my grandmother, I should go back to my great grandmother. My great grandmother, she lived in her home that she raised my grandmother in, and she died in that home. And so, you know, she had the opportunity to live that lifestyle. I got to witness her living that lifestyle, and she got to carry it out into the very end. And it's my
Yeah.
grandmother's dream to be able to do the same thing. And I think that when we're in the environment that we truly feel blessed by, that we truly love, we thrive in that
Yeah.
environment. And so a lot of times we find that even as we start to get older, we still do really well because we are thriving in the environment that, you know, we love so much. So there's
Yes.
hope for both of us. There's a lot to look forward to for both of us. What is the most memorable experience or proudest moment for you thus far?
Um, there's a few actually.
Is it going to have
For
anything to
me,
do with your competing?
yes. So for me, it's honestly being able to go from just having a love for horses and then having enough knowledge in actually a relatively short period of time, um, and the standards of things. Because most people who do like a lot of the competitions and win things at them have been doing it for a while, before they get to that point. So for me, that to be able to get that knowledge in a short amount of time and turn around and take horses to competition and actually like win things with them. It's not always like a first place or anything like that, but just being able to um, place at all for me is a huge accomplishment. And also just being able to take the horses that I've worked with as well, going from, being unhandled to doing all the things that they do in such a short amount of time. We get like 100 days is what we get with them when we do it. So being able to take them from untouched to going over all these obstacles and maneuvering and just letting us take them places in these trailers and expose them to all this stuff and be relatively level-headed about it is a huge accomplishment.
You know, we're all kind of a little bit different as far as what we're looking for with our
Hmm.
equestrian lifestyle and what our goals and aspirations are. I think the most important thing is what the horse can bring into our lives. And for some people,
Yes.
it's going to be just the simple presence and
Hmm.
grounding that we can gain from that. And for some of us others, we're very high achieving individuals,
Hmm.
and you know, we like the grind a little bit more.
Yeah, we complain about it, but we also, we we need it though. It's like when I listen every year after the show, it's like we're always like, why do we do this to ourselves? Like we are the only ones that are crazy enough to try to take these animals in a short amount of time and like do all this and like stress ourselves and exhaustion and like mentally, physically, and emotionally, and sometimes things don't go well and you get hurt and you're just like, why do I do this to myself? Like, why do I want to do this? And then by the time the competition's over, you're just like, oh, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. But then by the time the next one comes around and everything, you've been revitalized. And so then it's just like, yeah, let's do this. Because you got that little bit higher of a goal that you want to try to achieve for the next time. And so then you start doing the grind again. So
that that ambition just really kicks in.
yeah, yep,
Yes.
it does.
That day to day, that every day to day
Mhm.
dedication, commitment that you give to them, it requires a long term commitment,
It
and it's a
does.
long term goal. And that kind of goes back
Yes.
to truly what the definition of grit is, because that means that you have the initiative to focus
Mhm.
on something that's long term, to do something day in and day out, not for just a month, not for just a
Yeah,
half a year, but for years and years. And so that
yeah,
says a lot. And that's what
it
you got to
does.
be willing to step up and
Yes.
be committed to.
Yep. And a really good horse takes years to complete. I mean, they're all really good, but to get them to a level of where, they're just really proficient in like whatever your ultimate goal is, it takes a long time to get them there.
If you're a horse lover, a dog owner, or simply looking to improve your own well being, this is the perfect solution for you. The Healing Cowgirl offers products designed to enhance the quality of life for both animals and humans alike. What sets the Healing Cowgirl apart is their commitment to using only the highest quality ingredients. Each product is crafted from organically grown farms, ensuring that what you use on your pets or yourself is safe and natural. Experience the difference that high quality wellness solutions can make in your life today. Don't wait. Discover the transformative power of the Healing Cowgirl now. Well, another thing that so much of this requires is stamina, endurance, again, because
Yes.
we're talking long term. And in my field, working with riders in fitness, stamina and endurance is something that goes along into the program that I provide. A lot of times it's hard to have a structured schedule and stay consistent, especially if you have more than one horse, because they're
Yeah.
always going to, somehow or another create a different direction in the course that you're
Mhm.
headed. And, our health is super important. And you and I got to get together for a fitness session. So, can you talk a little bit about that? Because I mentioned that a lot of things that riders lack are stamina, endurance, uh, core strength, posture,
Mhm.
and balance. And so, what did you think about the fitness session that we did?
I actually enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. When we got done, I wasn't really like feeling it or anything like that. And I know you said that I would feel it the next day, but in my mind and everything, I was like, no, I don't think I'm gonna. Yes, I did. I woke up and I could barely walk. I was like, ooh, she wasn't lying. I was sore, and I'm actually still sore from it. It didn't help that I had to go and replace the leaf springs on my truck, which ended up taking 2 days to do because nothing can ever go simple.
Right.
But yeah, so that didn't help that I had to go do that on top of it. So I was definitely like very sore, and I actually felt it in muscles that I haven't felt it in for quite a while, like my core being one of them. I was like, oh, like they are in there.
Well, and as I mentioned to you, we were doing movement patterns that your
Mhm.
body isn't used to doing. So anytime, we start to challenge it in a way, and they were simple movements. It's like you
Yeah.
said, at first you were probably thinking, well, this really isn't going to do much, because they are very simple movements, but they are
Mhm.
movements that correlate over into the strength that we need in our riding, in the saddle. They correlate over into better riding. But for sure, when we first step into it, there's a little bit of days and moments where we're definitely recognizing that we've done something different.
Yes, yeah, actually, and then even afterwards, like I was concerned that maybe my knee might flare up later on after doing it, because sometimes that happens, but it didn't. Like none of it did. So other than the muscle soreness, which I mean is you would expect that when you're working things and you're trying to get those in better shape, that's gonna come with it. But I actually was very pleasantly surprised that I did not have any of the joint pain and everything that I usually have from trying to do a lot of that stuff. So that was nice. So if for anybody who has like limitations as far as that go, I actually honestly think that it would even help people who have maybe even had knee replacement surgeries and like back injuries and everything like that. I think that they would be good ones for them. I mean, they probably have to modify them, some, but that was a nice thing is that you did show how to modify if you needed to, like if you weren't at the level for the other ones. And there's only one that I had to modify, and that was the push-ups because
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're a strong gal, and you did like really great on the balance challenge as well. So yeah, it was very impressive. You mentioned the back, the knees. We're fortifying the knees, the ankles. We're
Mm-hmm.
extending, the years and the strength in those areas so that we can extend our riding for years to come, but also on a competition level, you're getting that extra edge. We're
Yeah.
also fortifying the back, and a strong core is crucial when it comes to
Yes.
just leisurely riding. It prevents injuries, and it
Mm-hmm.
becomes very crucial for our competitive riding as well. So I'm really grateful and thankful that, you were willing to jump into that project with me and to participate and to truly see what that is all about. I hope that it's going to be something that you want to consider to continue. I think with your years of competing that you have ahead of you, it will definitely give you that edge.
Yes, I agree. I actually would like to continue with it and check it out and see where it takes me, because there
Awesome.
are, especially after the other day, there's definitely some areas that I realized that I should probably work on.
Well, I truly value your passion for all of this, your commitment, your desire as well. It's been absolutely wonderful to hear your story and your experience. So I do thank you so much for sharing it all with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm actually kind of glad that I could share it with people. There would have been a time where I wouldn't think that I had anything valuable to say to people, but it's kind of humbling that I do.
One of the neatest things
So,
that I remember reading is there's somebody always above the level that we are at, and there's somebody that's always below the level that we're at,
yes.
giving us the opportunity to always go up and learn from those that are above the level
Mhm.
that we're at, but also remembering that there's always somebody that can learn from us as well. So we always have something to
Yeah.
give and something to offer. And you
Yes,
certainly
that is
do.
very true.
Yes.
So,
Okay, Nikita, thank you so much. I enjoyed this.
yeah, thank you for having me. I enjoyed it too. So.